Hey guys, this is your girl Siobhan. Thank you for tuning into my channel, Bohemian Soul. As always, you are much appreciated. I make videos about spirituality, life. This is my open diary. So if that's anything that sounds interesting to you, please do like, subscribe, hit the notification button so you're notified whenever I'm making new videos. And thank you. All right, so this video today, man, I feel like, I hate when I have to come to like certain revelations about myself that that will put me in like a damn, I can't believe I was like that kind of a person kind of mode. You know what I mean? However, it is good. I feel like a lot of the times we all have difficulties with trying to look at like parts of ourselves, in different points of times in our lives that weren't necessarily great. And we should, because it's a part of growth. Like if you can't look at a point in your life where you weren't doing your best and be able to say, yo, that was a moment in time, that was just, that was me, but it was a different version of me. Now, this is where I'm at in my life. If you can't look back at those moments and do that, you're gonna struggle with your growth, because we're not perfect. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've all made mistakes. We've all been fucked up to people. We've all been fucked up to ourselves. We've all just been in a light that didn't shine so bright. So I was thinking about one of my very first relationships that I was in, and that was like probably the longest standing relationship that I've been in, and it was super toxic, yo. Like it was so toxic. But I realize now that, I needed to be in that situation because there was a lot of things that I learned. Before I got into like a serious relationship, I remember like, I had a lot of female friends or just, females that I was cool with. And a lot of the times, they were, and this is like high school days and stuff like that, like early high school days, like 14, 13, like motherfuckers isn't like really in serious relationships. And I'm just like, you're 13 or 14. Well, I was 13. I started off young. I was like, you're like 14 or 15. Like, how are you in a serious relationship like this? And like already having sex. I'm like, I didn't have sex until like 20. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I mean that. Like, a lot of people, just because they just looked at my body and they thought that I was like, they thought I was just I was out there, and I really wasn't. I really wasn't out there like that. But I'm just like, damn, like, what do you really know about sex and all that stuff before? Like, that's kind of young, but whatever. But anyways, like, I'd have to sit down and listen to like the heartbreak hotel stories, and I'm just like, that sucks that you went through whatever you went through, but like, why are you still there? Why are you still with this person? Like, this doesn't make sense. Like, nothing's changing. Like, you go back and nothing's changing. Why are you still there? Why are you subjecting yourself to this nonsense? This doesn't make sense. And I kind of was a little, like, I wasn't cold. I've always been open to people, when they want to tell me about their life experiences and things that are painful. Like, I'm always open, because I always want to hear. I always want to try to like, give, different points of views based on, what I see or how I feel. And I'm a very compassionate person. But there comes a point where I'm just like, all right, like, this doesn't make sense. What are you doing? Until I was in the situation. So going back to that very, very, very first relationship or whatever, I knew from the jump that this person was like not gonna be good for me. And I even told this person that. And this person kind of guilt tripped me into like being like, I won't say they guilt tripped me into being with them, but they made me feel bad because they felt that I was judging them when I was. Like, I was judging you. Like, I was 100% judging you. But it wasn't on some like, oh, you're a bum or whatever the case is. It was just like the way you carry yourself, the way you speak about certain things, like, we're not going to mesh at all. We're not on the same page. So, like, it doesn't make sense. But, you know, people, their egos get into the way. You know, it's just like, it becomes an ego thing. It's no longer like, yo, taking reason to what's being said, you know? Whatever. So we ended up in a relationship and it was bad. It was bad news. The first time he did something that like really had me looking at this dude sideways. I was like, I'm done. And I let him know that. I was like, I'm done. We're done. There's no trying to fix this. Like, you're a cornball and I don't need this in my life. And I meant every word of that. I meant every single word of that. Like, I'm done with you. I don't want shit to do with you. And so I left him. And I think like, I don't know, maybe like a week into that, like, I just started feeling like I started feeling like shit. I was just like, damn, like I've been with this person for long enough that now I done forgot who I was before I was with this person. So, you know, like my life, you know, we was on like a consistent kind of like, I guess, routine, you could say. Like, you know, he'd call me or I'd call him. You know, we'd go see each other. We just, you know, it just kind of like, it fell into place almost as if we were like playing house almost, you know? And now that I try to separate from this person, I couldn't remember what I was doing with myself before. I know that sounds crazy, but like, yo, when you spend enough time with somebody, like on a consistent basis, daily basis, and to have that person or whatever that staple is in your life removed, you feel it, you know? And I feel like a lot of the times, even through that situation, I was like, you know, I think that a lot of times we think that we love someone or we're in love with someone. I won't say love because love is a little bit more broad, but we think that we're in love with someone. And that's the reason why we stay through these things. But truth be told, I think that what ends up happening is you become attached. You know what I'm saying? Like, you form it's like an energetic attachment to this person, you know, like, which has nothing to do with love. Not saying that you don't love this person or you're not in love with this person, but it's a little bit different. This is why it's important in the beginning when you meet someone, you make sure you have a game plan. Because a lot of the times, you know, we meet people, we don't have a game plan. We don't know what we want. Or sometimes people have hidden agendas, or they, you know, subconsciously have agendas that they're not paying attention to. Like sometimes you just want to have sex, but you know, you kind of present it in a way where it's just like, yeah, I'm just trying to like chill and just see where things go. You know, these things can put you in some situations where you're like, yo, I really should have thought about it, because then I would have caught more red flags, you know, I would have been paying attention to certain things. I guess for me in that situation, I kind of was just like, well, whatever, I want to start dating, I want to have certain experiences and blah, 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 whatever. Actually, I was dating before that, but I wanted to have certain experiences. And he was that person that was there at the moment. And even though I didn't see him as fit, I guess I kind of just allowed his reaction to my judgment or whatever to kind of guide us into a relationship. And then before I knew it, like, I was just warped into this relationship that made no fucking sense. Like, literally made no sense. Needless to say, whatever, I broke up with him and then I went back. Cause I don't know, it was weird. Like, I felt like I was just like, I don't even know how to be. I was like, I don't want to have sex with no one else at this point. Like, it was just mad things that were going in my head. Like, the thought of starting over, like, it was just mad stuff. And it seemed at the time easier to go back. And this happened countless numbers of times. It was just like, I would go, come back. I would leave him, come back. I would leave him, come back. Like, we would fight like cats and dogs, yo. And I felt myself beginning to change. Like I really, there was a point where, like, yo, because I'm really slick with my mouth. Like, I'm chill, but I know how to, like, just, like, aim the daggers. And I would say a lot of fucked up shit to this person. Like I would really go out of my way to purposely like try to tear this person down. Like I didn't care because my feel like I emotionally checked out of that relationship way like at least a year, maybe a year and a half before I left, like for officially for good. I was checked out. I was just dead because at that point I was just dead. I was like, yo, when we met up, yo, if we wasn't having sex, I wasn't trying to have a conversation. I was like, we're not on the same page, mentally. I don't want to talk about what's going on in the hood. I don't care. I don't care who's dealing with who. I don't care. Like, if this is not trying to elevate my life or your life, this is a waste of time. You know what I'm saying? And like, you clearly don't get that. I've been saying this over and over and over again. So at this point, I don't want to talk to you. Yo, if we not, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to talk. And then when that's done, like, yo, honestly, I'm about to go meet up with my homies, my friends. I don't want to talk to you no more. Like, it got bad. And I was telling him just like that. Like, yo, if we not fucking, I don't care what you got to say. I don't. Like, it got bad. And I mean, and he was tearing me down as well. Like, he was, I was like, he constantly would be like talking about other females. It was just, and here's my thing. Like, if you think, if my guy thinks another woman's pretty, I don't have an issue with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're human nature. Like, you're going to find other people attractive, but it's the way you go about things that I had the issue with. And there's no tact to it. It was just reckless. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if I was to be acting the same way that he was acting, it'd be a whole big situation, So I was dealing with stuff like that. And like, it started to make me, like, why you on social media always looking at this? Why you hitting? Like, it was getting to like really bad points. But like, I would purposely like just say, like, just my words alone was damaging. You know what I'm saying? Like, we never got physical with each other. Like, there was no me putting my hands on him or him putting his hands on me. There was none of that. But the mental abuse that I was causing and the emotional abuse that he was causing, like, we were super toxic. I realized, I was like, yo, I was really a toxic person. Like, it wasn't just him, because at the end of the day, no matter what I say, I could have left, but I try to force him to be what I wanted him to be. Like, I was like really on bully mode. Like, I was like, I was going in about certain things about his characteristics and stuff like that. Which is like, you can't, you really can't, you can't do that. You can't try to change people. You can't, like, parents do that sometimes, like make you feel bad about where you're not at in life or whatever the case is. Like, instead of just trying to like understand where people are coming from, even if it's from a distance, or encouraging or trying to show, like something, but again, I felt already drained because I felt like I wasn't getting what I need. So, and I realized that this person was never going to change. Like, he was never going to be the person that he wanted, that I felt like he should be. Not the person that he wanted to be, but that he should be. And what broke that was one day I was having a conversation over the same things that were bothering me. It's just like it was a cycle. It was just a cycle. But he said something different this time. He kind of was like, oh, whatever. Like, you're not going nowhere. Literally what he said. He's just like, you're not going nowhere. And I don't know what it was about that line, but I was just like, oh, I was like, now I'm predictable. Now he's used to our routine. And it really hit that, like, yo, nothing was ever going to change. And I made a personal vow to myself that the next time something happened, like, that had to be it. Like, I don't care how much pain and you feel of separating from this person. Like, you have to, that's it. And of course something happened because I knew something was happening, because again, that was our whole relationship was super predictable, and actually that point was the point that I knew I had to be done, because like, I don't ever want to put my hands on people. Like, I don't care how built strong I look. Like, I mean, I'm going to protect myself. I'm going to defend myself. I will beat your ass if I have to. I don't care who you are. Like, even if I'm going to get beat, I don't care if you're a guy, I'm going to get beat down. I'm going to get some hits in. That's a fact. But I don't ever want to put my hands on people. Like, that's not my style. That's never been my style. And that was the first time that I really was like, yo, I really want to swap it out. Like, I went looking for him, and by the grace of God, couldn't find him, which was very interesting as well. Because anytime I went looking for him in the area, like, I always find him. But that one time that I was like really seeing red, and like I don't know what I would have done, honestly, like, but I really wanted to swap it out because I was too through, and I didn't find him, couldn't get in contact with him or whatever the case is. So I had enough time to like let things mull over. And I was just like, wow, I've never had someone bring me to a point where I just like, I was ready to fight like that, you know? And I was like, this is it. Like, that's my limit. You know, that's my limit. If I want to put my hand on you, like, that's my limit. I have to go. And I wrote that fool a Dear John letter. Like, I mean, it was long. And I think he thought I was joking. You know, he definitely thought I was joking, because this, again, it was our routine. Like, it was just kind of like, whatever, we break up, come back. Although this one was very different because I finalized everything in a you know, whatever, text and whatever. And so, you know, it hurt like how it always does. But this time I was like, you just have to go through it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. You just have to go through it. And he did exactly what I knew he was, the way it went is exactly how I knew it was going to go. It was kind of like, he first tried to hit me up on some like, yo, you stay saying this or doing that, da-da-da, whatever. What about what you be doing, da-da-da? No response. He hit me up again on the same kind of energy. No response. He hit me up again on some like, hey, can we meet up so we could talk? No response. Hit me up again on like, yo, Siobhan, I've been trying to get through to you. Like, yo, listen, like, yo, please, like, let's talk. Don't do this. No response. Hit me up again. It was getting like really sorrowful on his end. But the more time I allowed to pass, the stronger I started getting. And then, you know, I don't know how many weeks passed, but whatever weeks passed, I look back and I realized, oh my God, like, I can't believe I was subjected to that for, it was like almost 4 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, I can't believe I subjected myself to that kind of misery for so long. And it took whatever weeks to like, be like, oh my God, like, I'm out. Like, I don't feel like I don't feel like the weight of the world is on me or whatever. Like, and it was crazy. It was just crazy. It was just crazy, you know? And, oh, he hit me up for months because despite, even though like I had my toxic moments, like overall, like, you know, I was still a good person. I tried to look out, you know, I tried to be there. I tried to like, whatever I was doing, I wanted to make sure he was a part of. If he didn't have, I was trying to make sure he had, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, overall, I was a solid person. My loyalty never wavered. That's when I don't care. Like, my loyalty never will waver. Like, I'd rather leave than to cheat. Like, as bad as it was, like, my loyalty never wavered. Never, ever wavered. And so he wouldn't stop. He just, you know, and I told him, I was like, you thought I was playing. You thought I was playing when I told you that last time, like, yo, like, I'm going to be gone. Like, and that's it. Like, I gave him the last warning shot. I was like, I'm going to be gone. He thought I was joking. But I felt so good to relieve myself from that, you know what I'm saying? To free myself, I mean. And so it brought me back to the time in high school when, you know, these girls, you know, would be in these situations. And I was just like, why? And I firsthand learned why. It was just like, yo, again, this attachment thing, like, people don't realize, like, you got to really know what you want before you move into any situation with anybody. You got to really know what you want. Because once you know what you want, you're going to know what to look for in people. And when you start to see that you're not seeing what you need, you know, once you're at a safe distance, like, you know, you're not having sex yet, like, do it all at a safe distance, yo. You really, like, see people's characteristics and everything. And it's just like, whoa. Like, if I had jumped in head first, you know what I'm saying, I wouldn't have caught any of that. Even with seeing it firsthand, I wouldn't have caught it. But because, you know, I did it at a, you know, I was smart about it. Like, I thought about it. I made sure, because a lot of the times, a lot of us do this, yo. We don't have any direction. We just be like, and guys are notorious for doing that. Like, I hate to do like the male versus female thing, but like, it's true. Guys are notorious for being like, yo, I'm just trying to chill. Like, yo, yeah, you know, I don't want no pressure. Fuck that. No one wants to hear that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, be real about your shit. Like, be real. You know what I'm saying? Like, or females, you need to be above the curve so you can catch what that actually means. You know what I'm saying? Like, you owe it to yourself, you know? But yeah, I've definitely been really toxic, you know, like just because I've been disappointed so many times, and you know, like I be so tired of like of dealing with whatever. But you know, I also had to be honest with myself. Like, you know, I jumped into situations with no direction, you know, and so I caused myself a lot of grief too. And instead of like realizing that, I just wanted to blame the other person, you know, like it was just easier to, you ever just been in a situation where there was nobody else to blame, and instead of like facing that, you just kind of stuck in it because you refuse to blame. You don't want to blame yourself. You don't want to blame yourself for nothing. Like nobody, you know, nobody really does. You don't want to blame yourself for shit, you know, but when there's nobody around to blame, it's just kind of like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, so instead you kind of just get stuck in whatever to, you know, you mull past certain things. Which is why it's interesting when other people around, like the lessons are much harder because you're not opening your eyes to your parts. So in that realization, now that I'm looking back on other relationships too, to see what parts I played in, and not just, you know, the better parts of me, but also the parts of me that needed some work, because I really do want to have something solid at some point. You know what I'm saying? Like I want something solid, but in order for me to get that, like I gotta acknowledge my stuff too, you know? And it was just, it was a good you know, revelation that I came to. It was just funny because I was like, damn, yo, like I really was toxic. Like I really was being like a messed up person or whatever the case is, you know what I'm saying? But I'm glad that I can acknowledge that about myself, because a lot of people are gonna just, they're gonna breeze through life and not acknowledge any of that stuff. They're just gonna be like, keep blaming everybody else. You know, it's crazy once you start to realize your own stuff. When you sit down and have conversations with other people about relationships and they start talking about, oh, this person, that person, you kind of can also step out, you know, move to the side what they're talking about and like think about where they might have been going wrong too, because it's always something repetitive, you know? And it's just like, whoa, if it's repetitive, like that's you too. That's you too. Whether you want to believe it or not, that's you too. And it's like you sit down and listen to their conversations, and you know, you start to realize like, yeah, I see where you're going wrong with that. I don't know if you're ready for this conversation, you know, because a lot of people aren't, which is why I try to refrain from jumping into people's business or whatever, which is not your place. And it's not my place anyways. It's not anybody's place. Like your place is to focus on you and figure out how you're going to better your life. Because once you do that and you start to ascend to higher heights, and it's a beautiful thing. And once you start to clean up your inside world, the outside world is much better, you know. And you start attracting what you need, it's a crazy thing. Like it's crazy, but for real, once you start to like acknowledge yourself and put the ego to the side, it changes everything. So yeah, this is my message for today. You know, just try your best to look at yourself in different angles. It's not about bad, good, even with me saying toxic and stuff like that. It's not really about that. It's just like, let me look at myself in a different lens to see what might need a little bit of cleaning up, you know? It's all about how you phrase things, you know, like it's not about what you say, is how you say, you know, those phrases that people say and whatnot. But I hope that resonated with some people. If not, maybe one day it will. You'll take the time out to look at yourself differently, for your own personal growth. Yeah, so anyways, thank you guys for listening. If there's any topics or anything that y'all want me to talk about, just hit me up, leave a message. And thank you for listening.